Hello, and as always, thank you for watching us here at Palos Heights Community Channel 4. My name is Carol Steff, and I think you've probably seen me on Channel 4 a few times. The last time I was on, we talked about the political atmosphere in what's going on in the world today and how important it is that you register. That was our emphasis the last time we were on, was to register to vote in many, many different ways that you could do it. Today we're going to take it the next step because we're closing in on the actual voting day. I've invited a very, very good friend of mine from Palos, League of Women Voters member for years and years and years. This is Chris Slowick, and she's been a League of Women Voters for years and years, as long as I have. She's been served on the county board. She's served in very many different advisory capacities with us into the political world. Chris, tell us your background as far as where you've worked and all the wonderful things.
Well, excuse me, I've been a resident of Hickory Hills for 48 years. I have served on the Illinois League of Women Voters Board, and I have been a member of the Palos-Orland League's Voter Service Team for quite some time. This team goes out and registers voters, and we give workshops on how to vote and good information out, and that's what I plan to do today.
Good. Let's get started. We know we're closing in voting. We certainly encourage you to register. Now, the most important thing, that's wonderful that you're registered. The registration rates have gone skyrocketing in Cook County. Everyone's gotten out to register because there's so many good ways to go about doing it. Now, the most important step, get yourself to the polls. The open voting has started in most counties. We started here in Palos Heights area on the 22nd of October, and it's held at the Park Recreation Center. But different areas have different places to go in and vote. But anybody can go into an open voting as long as they're a registered voter. Is that correct?
I think that you need to go now with some of those deadlines passed. I think you need to go to your home precinct.
Your home precinct, okay. Okay, let's talk about the importance of getting out to vote.
I think that one of the things that the League likes to say is voting is not a spectator sport. You need to engage. If you value your democracy, then you need to engage in voting. That is the single most important way to protect your freedom of democracy. And we certainly encourage everybody to get out and vote. We do not tell you who to vote for. We help you find out information on the candidates, and it's so key that you do get out and vote. So
I should point out, and I should have said at the intro, League of Women Voters is a non-partisan organization. We have candidates nights to encourage you to come as a voter to learn about the candidates. League never endorses a candidate. We just expose them to you so you can ask them some questions, hear about them, hear them speak, and form your own opinion as to who to vote for.
Yes, and I'd like to repeat a quote from Phil Cadner, who was a Chicago Sun-Times columnist. He said at one of the League meetings where he came to speak, "Bad officials are the ones who are elected by good citizens who do not vote." So you need to think about that, and you need to get out and vote. That is so important. So right now, the online registration date has passed. That was October 21. The registration in person has passed. That was October 9th. There is still a way that you can register to vote the election day up until election day. There's what they call grace period registration, and that will go from October 26th until November 5th, which is the day before the election. This is where you need to go at your designated location. And you can find that on the Cook County Clerk website. And I'm going to hold up a sign with that website. And this website has a wealth of information. You can find your polling location and the hours are open. You can find a sample ballot. You can, I can't read it.
While you're on the sample ballot, I just did that. I just went on there to find out. I've never done that before, and it's amazing. I have the complete ballot in front of me that I got off the computer that I sent on this website. So I can see who's running for the Secretary of State, the Governor, Treasurer, State Senator, the different commissioners of Metropolitan Water Reclamation, Comptroller, U.S. Rep, State Rep, Board President of Cook County, all the judges. I mean, there's a lot to vote for. And please, if you have the time, research. Look into who you're going to vote for. Do some research. The research information is everywhere. You can check it. The Trib. I always kind of go with the Trib as to who they suggest as far as judges, because I don't watch the judge behavior very often. There's lots of places to go to find out, or ask somebody. Don't just go in there blindly. There's a lot to vote for, and it's so important that you get it right.
That's good that you mentioned that, Carol. There is now a way, if you don't know any of the judges, we have a good resource in our bar associations. They have looked at these judges and they have rated them. And there's a very wonderful guide that's available at this website, www.chicagobar.com. If you go on this website and look for the SMART guide, it looks like this. It's a 2-page guide that you can mark and bring it right into the polling booth with you. You can also mark that sample ballot that Carol just held up and bring that right into the voting booth with you. I do that, and it's a wonderful way to get through the voting process quick and easy. So please keep your bar associations in mind. This one, again, is for the Chicago Bar, and there's also a phone number if you don't have internet access, and that is 312-554-2013. So you can call and ask them, perhaps they could send you one.
While you're talking about going into the voting booth, you have two options. You can take a paper ballot, which a lot of people seem to be doing. Paper ballot was the only way to vote at one point in time, and then we got the machines. And now there seems to be people swinging back to the paper ballot.
Well, a lot of people do like the machines. Of course, everybody likes technology, or most people. Some of us have a little more trouble with it than others. But there is some evidence that the machines are not entirely secure. Now, many people say they are, but there has been some evidence in the past, and some people believe that the paper ballot is more secure, that once you mark your vote, that can't be altered. And there's a visual copy of that. Now, many say the machines are secure, so it's a matter of what you believe. And if you are worried about it, you should Google secure voting machines, and you might see what some of that concern is.
And if you have a problem, you're not familiar with the machines, ask one of the people to come in. They can come in and show you literally how to, they don't have to watch who you vote for, but they can show you how to manipulate, not manipulate, bad word, how to vote on the voting machine. It's a little quicker than the paper, but if you want to sit down, there's no problem. Sit down with the paper and pencil and vote, but vote is our bottom line.
That's the key, vote, please vote. Now, on Election Day, the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the county clerk tells us that if you are in line at 7 p.m. when they close, you should be allowed to vote. Residents who are not registered to vote may register and cast a ballot on Election Day. The same-day registration and voting is what they call it.
Okay.
Those who wish to do this must present 2 qualifying forms of identification. And those are things like a passport or a military ID. A driver's license is one of the most popular, or a state ID. A lease or a mortgage deed. Now, nobody's going to bring that to the polling booth. A credit card with your name on it, your Social Security card, an insurance card, a membership to a union card that has your name. One of those has to have your current address. You could use a check from your checkbook. You just need to prove that you are at that address. And there's a list of locations where you can vote during the grace period. And you can also get that. I found the county clerk's phone number. It's 312-603-0906. And that has a wealth of information. If you look at the menu, you choose elections when you get to the home page, and that will give you a lot of information on voting. If you live in Will County, You can use the website www.thewillcountyclerk.com, and they can also provide information similar to the Cook County. Now, this site for Cook County is suburban Illinois only. Chicago has a separate site, so that's important. Provisional voting. If for some reason you get to the polls and they don't have your name in the book, you can ask to vote by a provisional ballot. That's a ballot which they will give you, and you can vote on it, and they will hold it until your address and your residence has been confirmed, and then they will add it to the voting totals. More than 96% of the 1,500 suburban Cook County precincts are accessible to disabled voters. And they're outfitted with ramps and elevators. And if you have trouble, you can make arrangements ahead of time by contacting the Cook County clerk, and someone can come out to your car and help you vote. If you have made arrangements to do that, yes, they can come out to the curb. And the key is get out there and vote.
Well, I have to take a moment and compliment the Cook County Clerk, David Orr. He's done such a beautiful job. Sadly, he's retiring. I hate to see him go because he's really, really good.
Right.
But he sent out mailings that look like this, and you probably received it, telling you all the information that you need about polling, where your polling places, your alternate polling places, and basic information. It also said the contests on your ballot. There's contests, many, many contests that we refer to. You also vote on the retention judges, which we refer to, and then some of the areas have referendums. I know in Palos Heights here we have a referendum that we're voting on for this election. So take your time, give it some thought, and go in, but for heaven's sake, go in and meet your neighbors at the voting polls.
And the referendum issues are listed on your ballot.
Yes.
That you should have had through the mail on this page on the bottom. And it's also in 3 different languages. I believe one is Chinese and one is Spanish.
Okay.
And you can request, at the bottom, there's a phone number you can call to request a different ballot.
So all the information is out there. They've made it very, very easy for you to gather information that you need before you go in and vote, or vote if you've already voted by mail or whatever. But take advantage of it. We couldn't make it easier for you to get out and vote. You need to take up that responsibility. If you're not happy with what's going on in your elected officials, there's not one thing you can do about it except vote. Go out, do some reference work, find out what they stand for, who they're voting, who they're supporting. I know I personally think some of the decisions in Illinois are very difficult this year, but you need to, don't stay home because you can't make up your mind. If I can't decide between so-and-so and so-and-so, I'm just not going. Not the answer. Go. If you don't want to vote on that particular thing, then don't. Don't vote for that particular person or against that particular person. Go on. There's a lot of other places to cast your vote in all different sections. But don't stay home because you can't make up your mind who to vote for.
And if you decide to skip an office where you don't like any of the candidates, just skip it. And if you have a paper ballot, when you go to give it to the person at the polling place, they will run it through, and then they will say to you, you missed one. Mm-hmm. And then you can say to them, yes, I know. They do that just to make sure that you know you're aware. But you can say yes, and then that's fine with them. They'll just count the ballot as is. So when you don't go to vote because you don't like the candidates or you don't like what's going on, you give up your voice and you give up your choice. When you vote, you help to choose the people who will be making the rules and the laws that we all will be living with. So it's important that we all take a look at these people, because you only need to be 18 and have lived in your residence for 30 days to run for office. And trust me, I have seen a lot of candidates that I didn't think were prepared for this. So you need to take your democracy seriously and your right to vote. You know, the women in America fought for 72 years to get the vote. That's 3 generations of people. The grandmas and the moms and the daughters all fought, and it took them 72 years. And now women are one of the largest voting blocs. So whether you're a woman or a man, we want you to go and vote. We want you to cast your choice for the best candidate to be in charge of things.
Well said, Chris, thank you. Along that line, and sometime we'll deal with it on Channel 4, if you're interested at all in making your voice heard personally, then run as a candidate. Find out, start locally, maybe as a committee person, find out what's going on, and voice, if you're interested, for heaven's sake, be active. If this way, it's the first-hand vote that you have in a meeting, in a membership of the council, of a board, get involved. You know, voting is wonderful, and voting is very, very important. But you know what? If you have some thoughts how it might be better, then get involved. Make yourself a candidate. The league has things through the years saying how to be a candidate, some of the things that you need to worry about, such as filing the papers to be a candidate on time, and there's some goofy timing on that, so to be aware. But make yourself a part of what we live in. We're a democracy, and aren't we glad that we are? But help keep it a good, strong democracy.
Yeah, that's a good point, Carol. And you know, your local offices are important. Your school boards and municipalities, these are the organizations that run the show in your own local community. And also, you should remember that you can contact these officials and give them your opinions of things. Sometimes you could make a suggestion that will really be accepted, and you can be a factor. So this is another part where your democracy is important.
Call your rep. You can call them down in Springfield, that's where they are. You can call them at their home offices. They really do want to hear from you because you are important. You are a vote. So they really want it. Your vote is important to them. So find out what they think and how they would like you to vote or for them, and the issues that you're concerned about and the issues that you think are important. Let them know what they are and say that I'll be watching how you vote in this particular area. But the power is with you. We have the power as voters. Let's use it.
Yes, make yourself proud and set an example for your kids. Because when these kids register to vote when they're 18 and they go to vote, that usually indicates they will be a lifelong voter. So I have leaned on my kids, and they are all out there voting, and that's what we need to protect our democracy into the future. So please take it seriously and exercise your right to select the people that run the show. Okay, we will see you Tuesday, November 6th at your local polling place. You'll be at one polling place. I will be at another polling place checking it out. Vote if that's not a good date for you, for heaven's sake. You have open voting going on right now. So check it out. Get in there and vote. It's so very important. We can't stress that enough. I know you realize that, but please don't let the days go by and don't get it done. It's very, very important to get out that vote. And as always, thank you for watching us here at Palos Heights Community Channel 4.